Limited.
Sir, wait. Sir, I'm giving countdown. Then we are live now.
Okay, right.
So we are live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are live now, sir. Please start.
A very good morning to all of you. I welcome the members, the directors and auditors to the 64th annual general meeting. The meeting is being conducted through video conference in accordance with the circulars issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and SEBI. For safety reasons, each of us are in different locations. Before we start the proceedings of the meeting, I request our team and my colleagues to play the corporate video for some time, please. Thank you very much.
Earth sustains man in more ways than we imagine. Much of today's technology is made possible due to minerals that are used in meeting the needs of our modern lifestyle. NMDC Limited has been mining the bounties of Mother Earth for close to 6 decades now to bring the benefits of minerals for development. Established in 1958 to explore, develop and exploit mineral resources, NMDC Limited has been contributing to India's growth by supplying iron ore, the critical raw material for making steel. NMDC has also played a crucial role in India's mineral self-sufficiency, having undertaken exploration that subsequently helped other PSUs as well. With iron ore resources of over 2 billion tons and an established mining capacity of 38 million tons per annum of iron ore, NMDC is the single largest supplier of high-grade iron ore, meeting nearly a quarter of the Indian steel industry's requirement. NMDC's mechanized mines, located in sylvan surroundings at Kirandul and Bacheli, at Chhattisgarh and Donimalai in Karnataka, mine iron ore that meet the requirements of India's major steel producers. NMDC's list of clientele is a virtual who's who of India's steel industry and a host of sponge iron makers in Chhattisgarh. NMDC is also India's only diamond miner and Asia's only mechanized diamond miner, mining at the historical Panna diamond mines in Madhya Pradesh. NMDC's proven expertise in exploration and mining, the high-level technical competence of its strong team of professional managers and a dedicated workforce ensure that NMDC keeps the flag flying. Awards and accolades follow where quality performance reigns. Several awards bear testimony to NMDC's enterprising spirit, industry leadership, safe operations, product quality, robust financials, commendable HR practices, and environmental concerns. As a part of its diversification program, NMDC is setting up a 3 million tons per annum greenfield steel plant at Nagarnar that will produce 3 million tons of HR coils annually. Being set up at an investment of more than 15,500 crore rupees, this plant will have the distinction of having one of India's largest blast furnaces. NMDC has also started production from its 1.2 MTPA capacity pellet plant at Donimalai. This plant will utilize slimes and fines generated in its mines by value addition and further converting them into pellets. NMDC's sponge iron plant at Paloncha fulfills the requirement of small steel makers. NMDC's utmost concern for the ecosystem where it operates ensures that mining is carried out conscientiously by adopting safe, scientific and environmental friendly methods of mining and mineral processing. Planting trees to sustain the grain cover is an important activity for NMDC. All production facilities of NMDC are ISO 14001-2004 Environmental Management System certified. To further increase its efficacy to international standards, NMDC is presently implementing an integrated environment management system. At NMDC, we strongly believe that the Earth's resources need to be mined scientifically in an eco-friendly and sustainable manner, and for the benefit of the country and mankind at large. The first beneficiary of this approach is the community, in whose midst NMDC undertakes its mining activity. Corporate social responsibility has been a way of life, an established practice at NMDC, ingrained in its very DNA, and one which it has been consistently carrying out diligently, in letter and spirit since its inception. Be it Kirandul, Bacheli or Donnimale, what was once an unknown and inaccessible place is now a thriving community. NMDC's CSR seeks to contribute in all key aspects of human development indicators. Not surprisingly, the Department for Public Enterprises holds up NMDC's CSR model as worthy of emulation. NMDC's annual CSR expenditure is one of the highest by any corporate in India. Where basic amenities like food, potable water, or good healthcare were hard to come by, and education was just a distant dream, today youngsters, even girls, make it to premier institutions in big cities, learn skills and equip themselves to lead a more meaningful life. NMDC also provides a safe and secure residential schooling facility to children affected by Naxal activities. Aspirations bloom as technology touches their lives thanks to NMDC. For providing the critical iron ore linkage for the SPVs, NMDC is partnering with the respective State Mineral Development Corporation to set up mining joint ventures. NMDC is also the leading stakeholder in the project to develop the rail link between Jagdalpur and Rowghat, which will not only facilitate expansion of the customer base of iron ore and finished steel in central and western parts of the country, but will also serve to draw the populace of the Bastar region into the national mainstream. Its core strength in iron is also being strengthened by taking up expansion projects at Donnimale, Beladilla and Kumaraswamy. At the Kirandul complex, NMDC is setting up the third screening plant for augmentation of screening, stacking and loading facilities to process 12 million tons per annum of ore. NMDC is also in the process of constructing a 15 million tons per annum slurry pipeline from Kirandul to Vizag at a cost of 10,000 crore rupees. This will enhance evacuation capacity and utilization of iron ore fines and slimes from the Beladilla sector. Apart from iron ore, NMDC is also developing the Arki limestone project in Himachal Pradesh. All these initiatives are geared towards broadening its product portfolio as well as broad-base its operation. NMDC is pursuing various overseas acquisition opportunities and new technologies in iron ore, coal, manganese and fertilizer minerals. These and other efforts get a solid support from NMDC's R&D Center, which is recognized as a Center of Excellence by an expert group of UNIDO and is at the forefront of research in mineral beneficiation and agglomeration and plays a crucial role in NMDC's operations. It is internationally acclaimed for undertaking extensive studies on bulk solid flowability and providing material handling solutions. Nearly 60 years ago, NMDC's first mining project to extract iron ore in Chhattisgarh opened up the earth and its bounties and also opened up opportunities for a vibrant future. A future that shall transform India and take NMDC to greater heights.
The greatest good you can do for another is not just to share your riches, but to reveal to him his own. This vision of an empowered and prosperous India is the driver of our passion. We firmly believe that the core philosophy of all corporate social responsibility lies in the socio-economic well-being of the community and the environment with which a corporation interacts. Our fourfold vision is emancipation of our beneficiaries, improving their quality of life, raising their standard of living, and contributing to nation building. As most of our beneficiaries are from tribal areas, our CSR activities focus on several key areas: literacy and education, drinking water, healthcare, awareness and hygiene, skill development and capacity building, agriculture and allied activities, income generation and sustenance, infrastructure, its creation and development, cultural, social and sports activities, alleviate measures in the event of natural calamities, friendly technology that's conducive to the environment. Mother Teresa once said that no man can do great things, only small things with great love. At NMDC, we are proud to have done our small bit for society with great love and commitment. The results have been overwhelming, the recognition truly humbling. Working in jungles, our people have taken malaria, dysentery, and a host of infections with a smile. They have braved bullets and threats from neighboring militants with fortitude. We have been opposed, resisted, threatened, but we have kept our commitment and our word. We have understood in the process that commitment in the face of conflict produces character, and compassion is the antitoxin of the soul, purifying our lives and enriching us immeasurably each day. Another day begins, another day of commitment, another day of fulfillment. At NMDC, every person recognizes the value of this moment and this day. We simply know that every action is important, for it touches on some chord that will vibrate in eternity. Every fresh idea is examined to its roots, as any serious project would. And while the heart keeps flowing with emotion, the head gets busy, looking into time frames, financial requirements, organizational responsibilities, expected results, and sustainable aspects. If we feel we need an outside expert, we work through an NGO or trusts. If we feel we need to involve the state government, we invite their participation. Regardless of how or through whom an idea is implemented, it is monitored thoroughly and accurately. This, combined with our ethos, where every individual develops a sense of happiness and devotion to the service he is doing, is the only way a culture of caring and integrity is fostered. The difference between a helping hand and an outstretched palm is but a twist of the wrist, a chance of fate, for the roles could have easily been reversed. So we realize that the price of greatness is responsibility, and we cannot be a great corporation if we do not fulfill our responsibility to society. In the final analysis, a corporation is only as good as its individuals. We recognize it is individual commitment to a group effort that makes a team work, a company work, a society work, a civilization work. Each and every one of us is charged with the energy that comes from responsibility. That is why we can dare to reach out our hand into the darkness, despite the obstacles, the hurdles, the resistance, and pull another hand into the light. At NMDC, we are made wise not by the recollection of our past, but by the responsibility for our future. For we are well aware that he who gives only when he is asked has waited too long. Our visionary leaders taught us that no joy can equal the joy of serving others, and that you give but little when you sign a check. It is when you give of yourself that you truly give. So much has been done, yet so much more needs to be done. So many hands have to be empowered. So many hearts have to be healed. It brings us joy to know that we have made a difference to these children, these young men and women, for they too are the future of our nation. A future that for us always begins now. For in today, already
I welcome the members, directors, and auditors to the 64th Annual General Meeting. This meeting is being held through video conference in accordance with the circulars issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and SEBI. For safety reasons, each of us are in a different location. Before we start the main proceedings of the meeting, I request my colleagues on the video conference to introduce themselves. Amitav Mukherjee.
Good afternoon. I am Amitav Mukherjee, Director of Finance and Chairman of Risk Management Committee, Corporate Social Responsibility Committee, and member of Stakeholders Relationship Committee.
Shri Somnath Nandi.
Good morning. I am Somnath Nandi, Director Technical and member of Audit Committee and Risk Management Committee.
Shri Dilip Kumar Mahanti.
Good morning. I am Dilip Kumar Mahanti, Director of Production and member of Stakeholders Relationship Committee and Risk Management Committee.
Shri Sanjay Tandon.
I am Sanjay Tandon. I am connected from Chandigarh presently. I am the chairman of Audit Committee and also the member of Relationship Committee.
Shri Dr. Anil Kamble.
Namaskar. I am Dr. Anil Kamble. I am independent director and I am a member of CSR Committee, Nomination and Remuneration Committee, and also a member of Audit Committee, and I am joining this AGM from Parbani.
Shri Vishal Babbar.
Namaskar ji, I'm Vishal Babbar. I am an independent director of NMDC. I am a member of Audit Committee, Nomination and Remuneration Committee, and Risk Management Committee. I am joining this meeting from Fazilka, Punjab.
Shri Sanjay Singh. Mr. Sanjay Singh is joining from Calcutta.
I'm Sanjay Singh. Good morning. I'm from West Bengal.
Shri Parthasarathi.
Very good morning, everyone. I once again extend a very warm welcome to the 64th Annual General Meeting of our company. This is Parthasarathi, Executive Director and Company Secretary of the company. Firstly, I extend a very warm welcome to the 64th Annual General Meeting of your company, and I welcome our Chairman and Managing Director, Honorable Shri Sumit Dev Sir, Shri Amitav Mukherjee, Director Finance, Shri Somnath Nandi, Director Technical, Shri Dilip Kumar Mohanty, Director Production, Shri Sanjay Tandon, Chairman of Audit Committee, Chairman of Stakeholder Relationship Committee. To this meeting, he is joining from Fazilka, and Dr. Anil Kamble, and also Shri Vishal Babbar and Shri Sanjay Singh, independent directors of the company. Apart from them, we also have key executives and senior management joining from their respective locations. Statutory auditors of the company, Messrs. Sagar and Associates, and secretarial auditors and scrutinizers, Messrs. D. Hanumanta Raju and Company. Cost auditors, Messrs. B. Mukhopadhyay and Company, joining from Calcutta. Internal auditor, Messrs. Tej Raj and Pal, and Shri Bhaskar Murthy, General Manager Compliance at Aarti Consultants Private Limited. Registrars and share transfer agents have also joined this meeting. We also have with us the branch auditors who have all joined this meeting. I wish to state that the President of India has nominated Shri Gopalakrishnan Ganeshan, Deputy Secretary, Ministry of Steel, Government of India, as his representative, her representative, to attend this 64th Annual General Meeting. In terms of the provisions of the Companies Act 2013, he would be exercising all the powers of a member of the company on behalf of the President. We have the requisite quorum present through video conferencing to conduct the proceedings of this meeting. Participation of members through video conference is being reckoned for the purpose of quorum as per the circulars issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and Section 103 of the Companies Act 2013. The quorum being present, I request our Honorable Shri Sumit Dev Sir, Chairman and Managing Director, to call this meeting to order.
I call this meeting to order and open. I now request Shri Parthasarathi, Company Secretary, to provide general instructions to the members regarding participation in this meeting.
Members may please note that this annual general meeting is being held through video conference in accordance with the Companies Act 2013 and circulars issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and SEBI. Facility for joining this meeting through the video conferencing or other audio-visual means is made available for the members on a first-come, first-served basis. However, the total link is already available on the home page of NMDC website. People can log in and watch the proceedings. The register of directors and key managerial personnel, the register of contracts of arrangement has been made available electronically for inspection by the members during the AGM. Members seeking to inspect such documents can send their request to cs@nmdc.co.in. The company has received certain requests from few members to register themselves as speakers at the meeting. Accordingly, the floor will be open for those members to ask questions or express their views. The moderator will facilitate this session once the chairman opens the floor for questions and answers. It may be noted that the company reserves the right to limit the number of members asking questions depending on the availability of time at the annual general meeting. In compliance with the MCA circulars and SEBI circular dated 13th May 2022, notice of the AGM along with the annual report 21-22 has been sent only through electronic mode to those members whose email addresses are registered with the company or depositories. However, the company is in receipt of certain requests from members of the company for physical copy of annual report, and in this regard, we have to inform you that efforts are being made to provide physical copies of the annual report. In this connection, we are also to inform you that due to the receipt of report of Comptroller and Auditor General of India dated 5th August 2022 on 6th August 2022 and due to paucity of time, physical copies could not be sent as the same needs to be printed. And it is a voluminous document and binded and sent to the shareholders. The list of shareholders who had requested for the physical copy of the annual report is prepared, and once the annual report is printed, the physical copy will be dispatched to the shareholders who had requested for the same. In compliance with the provisions of SEBI LODR Regulations 2015, the Companies Act 2013 and the circulars issued by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, the company has provided a remote e-voting facility through National Securities Depository Limited, NSDL, to the members as on the cutoff date, that is 23rd August 2022, for a period of 3 days from 26th August 2022 at 10 a.m. to 28th August 2022 at 5 p.m. The company has also provided the facility to cast the votes electronically on all resolutions set forth in the notice of the during the meeting. The members who have not cast their vote yet electronically and who are participating in this meeting will have an opportunity to cast their votes during the meeting through the e-voting system provided by NSDL. Members can click on Vote tab on the video conference screen to avail this feature. Members are requested to refer to the instructions provided in the notice or appearing on the video conference page for a seamless participation through video conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Company Secretary.
The company has taken all feasible efforts under the current circumstances to make members participate through video conference and vote at the AGM. I thank all the members, colleagues on the board, auditors and management team for joining the meeting through. I hope all of you are safe and in good health. I may now request our Chairman and Managing Director to kindly deliver his chairman's speech.
Dear shareholders, welcome to the 64th Annual General Meeting of NMDC Limited. While FY22 was a mixed bag with some lows and some highs for the global economy and your company, new variants of COVID-19 and infections like monkeypox had cast a shadow on the initial months of 23. However, the economic situation is expected to normalize in the second half of FY23. Wishing you and your families good health, I share with you the year that was for your company and what to look forward to. The economic scenarios. Somewhat unexpectedly, the war broke out in February 22 this year between Russia and Ukraine, a conflict that replaced COVID-19 in headlines across the world. Already reeling from the devastating impact of a new strain of the COVID-19 pandemic, the world had to deal with war that affected the availability of crude oil, edible oil, and food grains. Supply chain disruptions hindered the international trade of these goods with far-reaching consequences and pushed inflation to new heights. Concerned by the unabated rise in prices of daily goods, central banks across the globe have been increasing interest rates in a move to curb inflation. Under these circumstances, the IMF, the World Bank, and all major financial institutions have also downgraded growth projections for the world economy for the calendar year 2022. In India, inflation has been hovering around 7% at 7.01% in June 22 and 6.71% in July 22. Well above the RBI's target of 6%, forcing the regulator to raise interest rates by 40 bps in April and 50 bps in June 22. India's situation, however, is not as grim. Despite the ongoing geopolitical conflict, we have been able to import crude oil from Russia, helping the country to keep the average prices of imported crude oil down. The government's proactive policies, such as production-linked incentive (PLI), its thrust to creation of infrastructure and expansion of capital expenditure have been attracting large amounts of investments from the private sector. These factors provide comfort that India can sail through the current challenges with minimum impact, and this is also reflected in the higher than world average growth rates assigned to India by the global financial institutions. Global output and reserves of iron ore. The global output of iron ore in the calendar year 21, as estimated by the US Geological Survey, was 2,600 million tons, a 5.3% increase over the 2,470 million tons produced in 2020. It is noteworthy that 2022 registered 6% growth over 2,450 million tons produced in 2019 pre-pandemic. In terms of the country-wise output in 2021, with 900 million tons, Australia continued to be the largest producer of iron ore. India's production at 240 million tons ranked it as the fourth largest iron ore producer after Brazil and China. Australia continues to top the iron ore reserve chart with 51,000 million tons, followed by Brazil with 34,000 million tons, Russia with 25,000 million tons, China with 20,000 million tons, Ukraine with 6,500 million tons, and Canada with 6,000 million tons, followed by India with reserves of 5,500 million tons. The government's reform in the mining sector is expected to give a fillip to this number and help India tap the true mineral potential. Demand drivers for iron ore. Demand for iron ore moves in tandem with demand of steel. Global production of crude steel in 2021 stood at 1,951 million tons, an increase of 3.8% over 2020 figures. The Russia-Ukraine conflict and production guidelines by the government in China have dampened steel demand in 2022. Consequently, demand for iron ore has been declining, with volatile prices suffering a downward bias in June and July 22. The outlook for iron ore market is not encouraging in the short term. However, long-term demand is expected to be positive. As per a 2018 report of the United Nations, an additional 2.5 billion people are expected to live in urban areas. It is projected that India will add 460 million urban dwellers, China 255 million, and Nigeria 189 million. This macro factor will require enormous construction activity. Being the most widely used as material for building houses, machinery, and vehicles, steel demand is expected to grow for a long time to come, carrying with it demand for iron ore, its primary input material. Physical and financial performance. Despite the continued impact of COVID-19 in FY22, we recorded our best ever financial performance. Our production reached 421.88 lakh tons, recording a 24% jump over production in FY21. Operating revenue on a consolidated basis for the year was 25,881.73 crores, 68.3% increase over 15,370.06 crores operating revenue in FY21. Net profit increased by 50.3% from 6,247 crores to 9,391 crores. The huge increase is significant given that we have absorbed an additional royalty of 5,084 crores following amendments to the MMDR Act. The company paid the highest ever dividend of rupees 14.74 per share, which works out to 46% payout against an EPS of rupees 32.07. Major developments in the company. Demerger of the steel plant. Our strategic reorganization of business in the form of a demerger of the 3 million ton NMDC iron and steel plant at Nagarnar, Chhattisgarh into NMDC Steel Limited is progressing well. We have received a no objection certificate from the stock exchanges, and our application for the demerger has been approved by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. As directed by the ministry, we have held the meetings with unsecured creditors and shareholders of the company in June 22 and expect to complete the demerger within FY23. Expansion at Bacheli mine. Delays in the development of a fifth line of screening and a downhill conveyor that would significantly augment Bacheli's production has been tackled by appointing a new consultant. Project work has resumed and is progressing in earnest speed. We expect these facilities to be ready in FY23, adding about 25 lakh tons per annum to the company's production. Renewal of Kumaraswamy mines. Our release for the Kumaraswamy iron mine in Karnataka was renewed by the state government in June 22, ending a period of uncertainty. This mine has a production capacity of 70 lakh tons of iron ore per annum. Dismantling of e-auctions. NMDC, along with other miners in Karnataka, also welcomed the Supreme Court's recent judgment allowing iron ore producers to enter into direct contract with buyers. All these years, sales were routed through a Supreme Court-appointed monitoring committee that conducted auctions of materials, retaining 10% of the sales proceeds for reclamation and rehabilitation plans. The monitoring committee could further receive the sales proceed and then transfer it to us in a roundabout process that sometimes led to cash being stuck with the government for a considerable time. The Supreme Court's recent judgment doing away with this system brings the state at almost par with practices in other parts of the country and shortens our working capital cycle. Going forward, on the back of these developments, we are targeting a production of 460 lakh tons of iron ore in FY23. This volume is 10% higher than what we have produced in FY22 and will provide a cushion against any possible pressure on pricing. We hope to surpass the top line again in FY23. Dismantling the e-auctions through monitoring committee in Karnataka would contribute positively to both the top line and the bottom line. Additionally, NMDC has plans to diversify beyond iron ore into strategic and critical minerals such as lithium, nickel, etc., both in Indian as well as abroad. NMDC intends to conduct detailed exploration for these minerals in India and acquire assets outside the country to make India Atmanirbhar. Being the torchbearers for the iron ore mining sector, NMDC has been keen towards its ESG and sustainability practices. NMDC has recently onboarded external expertise to develop its ESG policies. This year being an important milestone in India's history, as India's largest mining company, it was an honor for us to participate in Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Through exhibitions, seminars, public artworks, and plantation drives, your company was at the forefront of these celebrations, marking the 75th year of India's independence. Wrapping it up by sponsoring the Hyderabad Marathon, a signature sporting event for the city your company is headquartered at. The marathon saw the participation of almost 16,000 runners, health and fitness enthusiasts from across the globe, and enthusiastic participation from us. We are happy to have partnered with the Hyderabad Runners Society and hope to make this marquee event that brings the city together on the important issues of health and fitness, an extension of our brand. I am grateful to all the shareholders, board members, employees, customers, suppliers, banks, regulatory bodies, state governments, and the government at the center, and all our stakeholders for supporting the company in its journey of growth progress. Thank you. Sumit. I now request the company secretary to provide a summary of the auditor's report.
Thank you very much, sir, for your awe-inspiring chairman's speech, a forward-looking statements. I once again thank the chairman, sir. The statutory auditors, Messrs. Sagar and Associates, have submitted unmodified audit report and does not contain any qualification, reservation, or adverse remark for the financial year 21-22. The report submitted by secretarial auditors, Messrs. D. Hanumantraju and Company for the financial year 21-22 contains qualifications and does not contain reservations or adverse remark. The qualifications in the report are relating to the composition of the board of directors with respect to inadequate number of members of independent directors, including women independent director. The statutory auditors report on standalone financial statements and consolidated financial statements are available on page numbers 157 and 239 of the annual report. Secretarial audit report is enclosed as Annexure 5 to the board's report on page number 116 to 120 of the annual report. Before we proceed, I am pleased to bring to your notice that, as required under the Companies Act 2013, the company had provided you all the facility to cast your vote electronically on all the resolutions set forth in the notice. Members who have not cast their vote electronically and who are participating in this meeting will have an opportunity to cast their votes through the e-voting system provided by the NSDL. Members may please note that there will be no voting by show of hands. Thank you. As the notice has already been circulated to all the members and is available on the website of the company, I take the notice convening the meeting as read. We now take up the following ordinary resolutions as set forth in the notice. We will open the floor for any questions by members after all the resolutions are tabled. For the benefit of the members, I am reading out the resolutions which we have put up. Ordinary business, we have the regular to receive, consider and adopt the audited standalone financial statements of the company for the financial year ended 31st March 2022, together with the reports of the Board of Directors, Statutory Auditors and Comptroller and Auditor General of India thereon, and the audited consolidated financial statements of the company for the financial year ended 31st March 2022, together with the reports of the Statutory Auditors and Comptroller and Auditor General of India thereon. The second resolution is to approve and ratify the payment of interim dividend of Rs 901 and second interim dividend of 5.73 per equity share of Rs 1 each already paid for the financial year 21-22. To appoint a director in place of Shri Sumi Deb, DIN number 085478119, who retires by rotation and being eligible offers himself for reappointment. to authorize the Board of Directors for fixing the remuneration of the statutory auditors for the financial year 22-23. In the special business, we have the appointment of Shri Dilip Kumar Mohanty. Here I would like to also inform that Shri Dilip Kumar Mohanty has joined the company as Director of Production in the current financial year. On behalf of the board and also on behalf of the members, once again we welcome onto the board. And we also have to appoint Shri Sanjay Tandon. Shri Sanjay Tandon also has joined during the previous financial year, as is a renowned personality, a chartered accountant by profession and a cost accountant, as an independent director of the company. And we also have to appoint Dr. Anil Sadashivrao Kamli, a government nominee. He is a doctor by profession and MBBS and MD, doing practice as an independent director of the company. And we also have the chartered accountant Shri Vishal Babbar as an independent director of the company from Fazulka, Punjab. And we have with us also Shri Sanjay Singh, a CSR activist from Calcutta, as an independent director on the company. All are government nominees. The President of India has nominated them as independent directors on the board of NMDC Limited. To ratify the remuneration of the cost auditors of the company for the financial year 22-23, if any member desires to ask any question pertaining to any item on the notice, he or she may do so now. Members are requested to keep their questions brief and specific. The moderator for the meeting will facilitate the questions on the video feature. To avoid repetition, the answers to all the questions will be provided towards the end by our chairman and our directors. Members may also note that the company reserves the right to limit the number of members asking questions depending on the availability of the time. Once again, dear shareholders, thank you for joining our 64th AGM today and for taking time to participate in today's AGM. Before we go live with the question and answers, here are some points to note for your convenience. Kindly turn on the video when you are projected on the broadcast screen. Kindly unmute yourself and proceed to ask the question. Please mention your name, DPID, client ID or folio number and the location from where you are joining. Each shareholder will have 2 minutes for their questions. To avoid repetition, the board will respond to all the questions at the end. Once you have asked your questions, you can switch off the video and mute yourself and continue to watch the proceedings.
I open the forum.
The board will be now taking the questions from the shareholders in 2 or 3 sets depending on the number of questions. Now we request Shri Santosh Chopra to unmute himself and kindly proceed with the question. I request the moderator to unmute Shri Santosh Chopra. Is Santosh Chopra in the meeting?
Chopra is not joining the meeting.
Okay, so can we move to the next person? This is as per the seriatim which we have received the request, sir. May I inform the members and the shareholders on receipt of, based on the receipt of date of receipt, we have made the seriatim of the shareholders, speaker shareholders. Shri Vinod Agarwal Ramesh. Do we have Shri Vinod Agarwal Ramesh for the meeting, please?
He is not also joining in the meeting.
Okay. We move to the next person, next shareholder. May I welcome Shri Shankar Golla, Kamal Kishore.
He is not also joining.
Okay, we move to the next shareholder, Mr. Jauhar Suresh Chand Jain.
He is also not joining.
Okay, Mr. Krishnan PS. Moderator, do we have Krishnan?
He is not also joining.
Okay.
Gopal Krishnan?
No, not Gopal Krishnan. Krishnan only, Krishnan
He is
PS.
not joining.
So we go to Redappa Gundluru. Is he available in the meeting?
Yes.
Can you unmute himself? Mr. Redappa, please go ahead and with your question, sir. Welcome to the meeting.
Yeah, opening my video also, sir, please.
Yes, please, please.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Sorry. Sorry, sir. First of all, my chairman, Sumit Jebji, sir, revise వస్తుంది సార్ నాకు ప్లీజ్ కంట్రోల్. Mr. Amit ji and Somaraj Nandi ji and Dilip Kumar Mohanty ji and Anil Kamble ji, Sandeep Tandon ji, and my company secretary A.S. Parthasarathi garu, and secretary of this EGM Hanumantarao garu, and all the independent non-executive directors of my company and my fellow shareholders of this video conference. Good morning, namaste sir. My name is Retepa Gunduru. I am from Hyderabad, sir. I'm a financial advisor, sir. Firstly, sir, as a shareholder, I am very happy about the company performance financial 22, sir. Sir, nice presentation, video presentation you have given, sir, and also my chairman has given very good informative speech, sir. Thank you very much, sir. And annual report also very wonderful, wonderful, sir. I also congratulate for the 64th annual general meeting, sir. Sir, I would like to thanks and appreciate the corporate governance, sir. The corporate governance is very transparent and ethically and accountability is there, sir. I'm very happy with this corporate governance. That's the reason I'm appreciation to all the KMPs of my company, especially company secretary Parthasarathi garu. Sir, financial performance is wonderful, sir. My company is strong operational performance with consistent growth, operational, sir. Wonderful sales growth. I've seen it. Sir, thanks for this 17 rupees 0.44 per share in this financial year, including this final dividend and interim dividend, sir. Wonderful, sir. We have increased this financial dividend also. We are very happy this dividend. Congratulations this for all the wonderful numbers, sir. Go ahead, sir. No need to appreciate this financial, sir. Everything is fantastic, sir. I would like to thank this awards and recognition, sir. What a kamal kar diya, sir, aapne. Awards and recognition mein, I wanted to congratulate many awards and achievements this financial year, sir. Awards is many more, sir. This innovative training Purachi awards. Sumit Dev ji, आपको congrats देना चाह रहा हूँ, sir. Leadership award आपने जीत लिया है for communication leadership this awards, and also CFO sir also won this FECFO of the year awarded by the financial expert of the year, sir. So MD और CFO को दोनों को मैं congrats देना चाह रहा हूँ, sir. Sir, also we have won many more, sir. Especially sir Rajabhasha Kiriti award, sir. Very happy, sir. 13 corporate combinations award जीत चुके हैं, sir. And platinum award and many more, sir. बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है. Balance sheet देख के और award देख के बहुत खुशी होगी, sir. Awards also from, sir. एक नाम देश के नाम. We received many more awards from this Ek Naam Desh Ke Naam, and also Khanji Bharati, many more, sir. So CSR also very wonderful. He has spent, sir, 287 crores of rupees, spends a tremendous support to the society. Has seen this video also, has seen annual report also. You are doing wonderful, do, sir, especially NMDC CSR Foundation और देश के लिए आप promote कर रहे हैं, sir, sports के लिए तो बहुत अच्छी बात है, sir. I'm appreciating, sir. And also employment towards the women empowerment and drinking water, promotion education, special education to primary schools, whatever, sir, many more, sir. So बोलना पड़े तो एक दिन सब बोलना पड़ेगा, sir. You have done very good rural developments and also, sir, sustainable natural resources, sir. और इसको orphan school बहुत किया, sir. Many more किया, sir. I have never seen this type of CSR activities in any other company, sir. I am very proud as a shareholder of this company. So this is my thanks for this CSR, sir. And also, sir, my suggestion, sir, any ट्राइबल एरिया ड्रॉप आउट्स के लिए देखिए, सर. वोकेशनल कोर्सेज और कुछ होना हो तो उसको प्रोवाइड कर दीजिए, स्पेशली दिस ट्राइबल एरिया, सर. ड्रॉप आउट्स, दिस इज माय सजेशन, सर. एंड आल्सो माय मिस्टर चेयरमैन, आई हैव few questions, sir. My observations is, sir, what is your vision in this couple of years, sir? And also, sir, what are the steps you are taking to improve my company net profit growth? I'm talking about net profit growth. What are the steps you are taking, sir? This is second question, sir. Third question is, sir, miscellaneous expenses, miscellaneous losses written off, sir. What is the reason this written off, sir? This is the third question. Fourth question is, sir, huge surge in provision doubtful debts. What is this provision for doubtful debts, sir? 459 lakhs is there, sir. Fifth question, sir, local area development towards SPV in Karnataka. 481 lakhs were spent, sir. What is this? Can you please brief about this expenditure? Sixth question, sir. Advertisement publicity is steeply increased compared to last financial year. what type of advertisement we are doing, sir, publicity, what type of doing we have done this financial year, I would like to know. Seventh question, sir, other income is doubled, very happy. My question is, this income coming from where, sir? I would like to know. Please give some information, this other income. Last question, final question is, sir, what type of steps you are taking to environment protection for friendly mining के लिए आप क्या करना क्या steps लिए हैं, sir? What steps you have taken? Can you please brief this precaution for this environment? These are my observations, sir. These are observations and questions. Sir, I have supported all the resolutions and voted, sir. Sir, I request you, sir, please give me approval for this Palancha plant visit, sir. I would like to visit a few shareholders of this annual, who is attending this annual general meeting, sir. Please give permission for this Palancha plant visit, sir. Finally, sir, I would like to thank my company, CSAS Parthasarathi Garu, and his wonderful services, sir. Sir, actually, CS role is very crucial and important to the manage the management and with the shareholders' grievances and compliance with the exchanges, sir. I think he is 100% delivering all these roles, sir. My best wishes to all the behalf of the shareholders, sir. Sir, finally, personally, I believe that my company will achieve many more higher awards. ये साल के और ज्यादा ये फाइनेंशियल 23 में अचीव होंगे सर अंडर योर लीडरशिप ऑफ सुमित देव जी माय चेयरमैन विद along with all the director support, sir, with all the sir, finally I wish all the best for all the entire board, good health, happiness, and continue to the support to the society also, sir. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity in this afternoon. My name is Reddappa Gundluru. I'm a financial advisor from Hyderabad. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shri Reddappa Gundluru. That was very, very informative. So we'll, as I informed, we'll be responding in the end of the session, of the question answer session. So may we have the next speaker, Mr. Kumar Saraf Jamshed, if he has joined. Santosh Kumar Saraf. Moderator, can you check?
Okay. 1 minute, sir. मैं हूँ हाजिर हूँ.
हाँ आइए संतोष.
वीडियो शेयर करना विजय.
Yes. Please go ahead, sir. Santosh ji, please go aheद.
हाँ जी. आदरणीय सभापति जी, उपस्थित निर्देशक सदस्यगण और मेरे शेयर भाइयों बहनों, जो आज हम वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस के प्रेसिडेंट हैं, मैं संतोष सराफ बंगलोर से आप सभी को नमस्कार करता हूँ. आशा करता हूँ आप जितने भी डायरेक्टर हैं, जितने भी अधिकारीगण हैं, इस समय सुरक्षित और अच्छे स्वास्थ्य में. सब मैनेजमेंट को धन्यवाद देता हूँ. काफी अवार्ड जीतने के लिए भी, इसके साथ 14 पैसा डिविडेंड देने के लिए काफी अच्छा डिविडेंड हमने प्रेजेंट किया सर. और ये डिविडेंड की अगर मेल करूँ तो करीबन 6% की लाती है, और ये सेविंग्स अकाउंट से भी अच्छा मतलब रिजल्ट आपने किया सर. सर आपको मैं ज्यादा नहीं कहूँगी, आपने 2 मिनट का अलॉटमेंट टाइम दिया, लेकिन लोग 10 मिनट बोलते तो अच्छा नहीं है. प्रश्न बोल पूछ लेना चाहिए. तो मेरे कहना नहीं सर, ये तो डीमर्ज अपने NISCP का कर रहे हैं, ये कब तक कंप्लीट हो जाएगा और इससे हम शेयर होल्डर को क्या फायदा होगा? क्या डीमर्जर के बाद हमें कुछ शेयर मिलेंगे सर, है या ये फुल्ली सब्सिडी ही रह जाएगी? NMDC ये बताने का करिएगा. एक सर, अपने वुमेन एम्प्लॉय की संख्या काफी कम है और इसको एम्पावरमेंट करने के लिए हमारे मोदी जी काफी चेष्टा कर रहे हैं. अभी उन्होंने 3-4 दिन पहले वर्क फ्रॉम होम ऑप्शनल चालू किया था. इसलिए चालू किया कि वुमेन ज्यादा निकल के बाहर नहीं आती है. तो आप इस पर क्या कदम उठा रहे हैं कि अपने यहाँ 360 वुमेन है, 5,531 मेल टोटल एम्प्लॉयमेंट में विचार करिए. इनकी परसेंटेज एरिया 20 से 25% कब तक आप लाएंगे? अगर प्लान है तो बताने की चेष्टा करिए सर. सर, डिस्प्यूट केस की एक बहुत लंबी लिस्ट है, इसको भी क्लियर करिए. अच्छा नहीं लगता एक गवर्नमेंट रिलेटेड कंपनी के इतने डिस्प्यूट केस पेंडिंग है, उनको भी 2 पन्ने के उनको चर्चा. लास्ट में सर ये कहूँगा, आपने रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग की क्या व्यवस्था की है बताने का करिएगा, और रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी के लिए क्या व्यवस्था करी है ये भी बताने का करिएगा सर. और सर, मैं ये सिंगल यूज प्लास्टिक जो बंद हो गया है इसके बारे में क्या व्यवस्था की है ये भी बताने का दिए. और ज्यादा समय नहीं लूंगा सर. एक बार आप जितने भी डायरेक्टर, जितने भी अधिकारीगण, जितने भी शेयर भाई बहन, उनके परिवार की लंबी उम्र की कामना करता हूँ और कंपनी के ऐसे भविष्य की कामना करता हूँ. और जितने भी डायरेक्टर उनकी लंबी उम्र की कामना करता हूँ. भगवान से प्रार्थना 2022-23 सभी के लिए वेल्दी हेल्दी प्रोस्पेक्ट सेफ्टी साथ देती हो। लास्ट में यही कहना चाहिए डीसी मीटिंग काफी अच्छी है सर। इससे कॉस्ट कटिंग भी होता है, ट्रेवल भी कमती होता है। जैसे मैं रहता हूँ कलकत्ता में या बेंगलोर में, तो बेंगलोर से मीटिंग कर सकता हूँ। तो ये हाथ जोड़ के रिक्वेस्ट है सर, फिजिकल मीटिंग अगर आप करते हैं तो इसके साथ हाइब्रिड मीटिंग का भी ऑप्शन रखिए, जिससे कि प्राइम होल्डर आपसे बात कर सकें। कि अब एनईएफटी का जमाना आ गया सर, नकदी लेन का काम बंद हो गया। लास्ट में को सर जितने भी हमारे कर्मचारी एम्प्लॉई हैं उनसे रिक्वेस्ट है बूस्टर डोज जरूर ले लें। पेट लेकर मेरे को कोविड हुआ था, महीना भर पहले मेरी बूस्टर डोज ली हुई थी, उनके मेरे को असर नहीं हुआ। इसलिए मेरी इनसे प्रार्थना है आप अपने परिवार को बूस्टर डोज दिलाइए, जो अमृतकाल में फ्री मिलती है। समय दे देंगे, धन्यवाद सर। जय हिंद जय भारत। एक बार फिर आप सभी को मेरा नमस्कार। आशा करता हूँ सब अच्छे से रहेंगे।
Thank you, Santosh Kumar Saraf Sahab. So, may we have the next speaker, Mr. Jamshed Patel. Moderator, kindly admit him into the meeting.
He is not done in the meeting.
So, we move to the next speaker who has registered Satish Chandra S. Doshi.
Hello.
Satish Chandra.
Yes, hi sir.
Please unmute yourself and also your video and audio, please. And go ahead with your question. Mr. Satish.
Yes,
Welcome to the meeting.
Yes, am I audible, sir?
Yes,
am
you are
I
audible.
sir.
Video also you can switch on if you want.
Yes,
Go
sir. Sir, I am Satish Chandra Doshi, joined the meeting from Mumbai, sir. My folio ID is IN 300126109360033. Sir, firstly, congratulations on achieving record-breaking physical performance, and I'll thank you for giving us the highest ever dividend. And thanks for this opportunity for giving me opportunity to ask the questions. Sir, here are my few questions. If international, the first one is, sir, we'll expand our capacity of iron ore production to 67 MTPA in coming years. So, will this help us to reduce the operational cost, sir? The second question is, sir, if international iron ore prices goes down by 20%, how much of it we need to pass on to the customers, assuming that the export duty remains the same and rupee dollar parity also remains the same. Now the third question is, sir, most of the steel expansion is being carried out by integrated players, sir. So in such a scenario, how will we generate incremental domestic demand for our iron ore, or are we going to export iron ore, sir? Sir, I have two, three more questions, sir. The next one is, sir, how much amount are we expecting to be recovered against trade receivables from monitoring committees, as we have made provision for bad and doubtful dates amounting to rupees 2800 crore approx as on 31st March 22 in the books. Sir, also what would be the time frame of recoverability of this amount, as the matter is pending with the Supreme Court? Sir, the next question is, we are expecting the demerger of steel plant to be completed by end of 2023. And sir, are we on line with this timeline for the same demerger, sir? The next question is, what is the probability that is there any probability that the additional royalty will be reduced or removed by the government? And also, we have been served by a show cause notice on Baildila project. I hope I am pronouncing it right. By the district collector, amounting to rupees 1630 odd crores. So, could you please provide details about the next hearing and your views on outcome of the same? And sir, a few days back, there was one news that Supreme Court has relaxed limit on iron ore mining in Karnataka. So just wanted to understand what is the impact of this on NMDC. And the last question is, sir, is there any wage revision under consideration? That's it from my side, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Satish. So may we have the next speaker from Nirza R Securities LLP, Mr. Naveen Mohan. Do we have Naveen Mohan in the meeting, please? Moderator, can you just check?
Yes. Yes, I am there.
Yes, please unmute yourself, sir, and also your video also. Please go ahead, Mr. Naveen.
1 second. I'll just open my video.
Okay, if there is a bandwidth problem, please go ahead with your questions. Not an issue.
Okay, 1 second. I will just open my. I think. Are you getting my video? No.
No, you please go ahead with the question. Not an issue.
Okay, fine. My name is Naveen Bajaj. I'm from Delhi and New Delhi, and I must congratulate you for all the social corporate responsibilities which you take up, like the Hyderabad Marathon and all. It gives us very good publicity, and we are proud of that. Now, my questions are: first of all, what is the record date for getting the shares of NMDC Steel Company, which is demerged in the ratio of 1:1? What is the record date for getting that? Please announce the record date soon. What is the listing date of that? And the timeline given by the CMD was September of this year. By September end, it will all the demerger process will be completed. Does he still stand by that timeline? And the next question is how the price adjustment of both these companies will take place once both the shares are listed simultaneously on the stock exchanges. What will be the process for that? Please explain that. And the next question is how will you add shareholder value to the shareholder value to the shares? Any bonus issue in the offering in the near future? And most important question, and my final question is regarding legacy iron ore subsidiary which we have in Australia. When will that investment start bearing fruits, and when will it start adding to the bottom line? And please explain that. And what are the prospects of legacy iron ore? Just please tell me that. And are we going to, surpass the EPS of previous year in the current financial year also? Are we going to surpass 32 rupees? Can you please tell that? This is all I want to know. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Naveen. So, may we have the next speaker, please? Mr. Vinay Vishnu. Is Mr. Vinay Vishnu in the meeting, please?
He is not joined, sir.
So may we have the next speaker, Kankanala Bharatraj. Mr. Bharatraj, go ahead.
Good morning.
Go ahead, Mr. Bharatraj.
Very good morning. Very good morning, Mr. Chairman, entire Board of Directors. Happy to see you safe, healthy and fine, sir. Sir, under the leadership of our Chairman and Managing Director, Mr. Subit Dey, a wonderful performance, sir. I congratulate you for making a revenue of net profit 60% increase. Leadership is the first time. I'm very happy and proud of you, sir. Under your leadership, entire Board of Directors, I congratulate you to the performance. It's a wonderful CSR, sir. The NMDC, there is no black spot till date for the CSR program, sir. I'm very happy, sir. And awards what you received, sir, wonderful, sir. Thank you very much. Sir, the highest paying dividend this year, congratulate you to entire Board of Directors for paying a high dividend, sir. Sir, I thank Mr. Parthasarathi and congratulate him for becoming a executive director and CS. Sir, all the best for coming years. Sir, one thing I want to share about him is it is very humble and very humility person, sir. He is always accessible 24/7, sir. He never behave like a senior person. He is always accessible person. Thank you, Mr. Parthasarathi, of your wonderful services to our company, sir. Mr. Chairman, what is your future plan, sir? Regarding any acquisitions are there in coming all over the world for the mining, sir? You are planning to go to take over any coal mines or iron ore? Because in present scenario, sir, acquisitions are very important, sir. Nobody knows tomorrow my NMDC will be taken over by some other Indian company or Indian promoter. Or again, government intention is different now because they want to make everything privatization. So if you go more expansion, so nobody will dare to take over our company, sir. So what is the future plan, sir? You are planning to take over all over the world. So a lot of mines are there. And any future plans to enter into the China segment, because the future is the lithium batteries, sir. So any future plans to take out the lithium mines or that type of any ores anywhere in the world, if any countries are giving this opportunity, are you entering into the bid, sir? Because the future is EV, sir. So now only we should plan how to go into that future plan, sir. Once again, Mr. Subit Dev, wonderful performance, sir. Congratulate you. All the best for coming here, sir. We always I support all the resolutions, Mr. Chairman. Entire board of directors, be safe, be healthy, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Parthasarthi, and entire team secretary department for wonderful services. God bless you, sir. Be safe, be healthy, sir. I'm Bharatraj calling from Hyderabad.
Thank you, Mr. Bharatraj. May we have the next speaker, Mr. Praful Chavda. Is Mr. Praful Chavda in the meeting, please?
Sir, he is not joined.
Okay. So may we have the next speaker, Mr. Keval Kumar. Registered speaker.
He is also not joined.
Okay. May we have Rohit Potti Prakash.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, very much. Go ahead, Rohit ji.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity, and congratulations to the entire team on such an excellent performance this year. A few questions have already been asked by the previous participants, so I'll try avoiding them. So my first question is on the Kumaraswamy mine. Congratulations on getting the lease renewed. I noticed from the annual report that we got a public hearing approved. We had a public hearing on the 22nd March 2022. So could you detail what the outcome of the public hearing was? And it's been 5 months since the public hearing has been completed. This is for the expansion from 7 million to 10 million, I assume. So what was the outcome of the public hearing, and have we begun the expansion? Are we getting increased production from the mine? And how long does it take generally after public hearing for us to begin production from a successful public successful public hearing mine? So that's my first question. Second question is, sir, I think it's historically been our intent to have some mines in Orissa. Could you help us understand how that intent is progressing? That being, I mean, Orissa being the largest iron ore mining state in the country, I think it's imperative that we have a presence there. So it will help us if you can share with us what the progress in terms of our expanding our presence in Orissa is going along. And sort of related to this is my third question. So I've read and heard that we might be interested in a public sector iron ore miner, which is OMDC, which is present in Orissa, which has 3 mines, which 5-6 million capacity, and which seems to be shut right now. And with RINL going for divestment, is that not a good opportunity for us to enter the Orissa state by acquiring that particular mine from RINL directly? My next set of questions are on the steel plant. I would like to echo some of the previous participants' question on when the demerger will happen, and by when do you think we'll get the shares in our account? Also, if you could give us a little more detail, some more details on the steel plant, that would be great. So I understand the capacity is 3 million tons. So when will it be commissioned? When will we start producing metal there? And given the current area, what is the production capacity possible in future? To up to what extent can the plant be expanded to? From 3 to, is it 5, 6, 7, 8? It'd be great to know that information as well. My last question is on capital allocation. Now with the steel, so if I see the last few years, the steel plant took up the lion's share of our capital expenditure. We spent more than 15 to 17,000 crore on the steel plant. Now with the steel plant getting demerged, we'll have excess cash flow available. Does that mean that our dividend and buyback corporate actions will increase going forward, or how do we see us using the substantially higher free cash flows that the company will generate for itself? That is it from me, sir. Thank you so much for the efforts and for your efforts in running the company.
Thank you, Mr. Rohit. So may we have the next speaker, please, Mr. Saraf Faisal Hawa. Is Mr. Saraf Faisal Hawa in the meeting, please? Moderator, to kindly.
Joined,
huh?
He is not joined, sir.
Okay. May we have the next speaker, Mr. Saket Kapoor?
Namaskar, sir.
Namaskar, Saket ji. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Am I visible also, sir?
Yes, please. Yes, Mr. Saket. Go ahead, Saket.
Is my camera also working, sir?
Yes, very much. You are the board is seeing you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you for the namaskar, sir, and thank you for this opportunity. So, firstly, to put things into perspective, as we have seen that the prices of iron ore, both lumps and fines, are much lower than what our averages has been for last year, and also if we could take the averages for the first quarter. And as Sumit sir categorically mentioned, that we are going to surpass the last year top line. Correct me there if I'm wrong. So, what are you factoring in terms of the realizations when you are putting up the number that we are going to exceed last year sales realization, and what should be our EBITDA margin band, sir? I think so. It was 43% last quarter. So, what are we anticipating in terms of that? I think so. Amitabh sir has already mentioned, and you also mentioned, Dev Sahab, that our retention money part is also going to benefit us in terms of that cash flow being now flown through directly to the company. And also, I think so, the NMIL money will also be coming in. So that will be the two additional cash flow. What would be the additional incremental cash flow out of these two activities? If you could categorically mention, taking into account last year's volume numbers, if you could give for the retention money part, and also the NIML profits, how are the profits going to look like, and what the net cash, which post-tax cash that is going to be received by the company, and we must have received that money by now. And sir, Dev Sahab, you mentioned about the current environment and we ramping up our capacity and looking for better volumes for this year. But as earlier speakers, Satish ji, Naveen bhai, and Rohit sir has mentioned about the competition, and also the other steel players going towards the integrated route, wherein they will having their own iron ore mines, and government is also looking to come up with exploiting new mines to increase its revenue. So how are we prepared to sell the incremental volume that we are anticipating? And I think so our 2030 target is another big number. If you could dwell whether we are revising that target depending upon how currently the export, I think so that export tax is a near-term issue, as has been categorically mentioned by the government also. So your take also on the take, how much that has impacted. If we look at your Q1 numbers, it is evident that there is a build-up in inventory. And I think so earlier in the March con call also, Amitabh sir has mentioned that we have prepared better for the monsoons this time. So have our preparations worked the way we thought, and how have the offtake been in the current month? Sir, I think so we missed the last interaction with our investors in the con call. So look, sir, I look that we look forward for the continuity of the same, and we definitely be interacting with the investors, I think so, for post our half-yearly number. So my questions was, sir, the June quarter average was significantly higher than what the current month prices are, I think so, for both lumps and fines. So what is the take on the same? How is the current year shaping up in terms of realization? Even the finance cost part has suddenly propped up. So 25-20 crore rupiya karib now we are paying at finance cost. What is the reason, sir? How come we have to pay this amount of finance cost on a quarterly basis? 15-20 crore rupiya dikh raha hai. Sir, I remember आप लोगों ने mention किया था कि pellet के जो losses रहेंगे, that will go away post, I think so, the third quarter last year itself. But even we posted losses for the fourth quarter, and also I think so the same has happened for the first quarter. Maybe due to this again the export tax has played its part. But still, sir, what is our outlook for this year as a whole on how the pellet contribution is going to be? And coming to my next point, what is our capex for this current year? How much have we spent till August, or if you could give us any on the event date, and how much are we about to spend, and what are the new facilities or the new things that are going to get streamlined in the current year, and your targets for FY24 in terms of the improvement in the efficiency? I think so the third screening plant at Kirindul is also on the anvil, and also I think the update on the slurry pipeline. If you could give, sir, what kind of capex? Sir, I also congratulate Dev Shah for completing the 10K marathon. We could see the spirit and you leading from the front, sir. So congratulations. Health is the priority. for everybody, and you are leading by an example. Sir, the Nagarnar steel plant, all the fellow shareholders have spoken about it. So I think so we are at the culmination point now. So please throw some more light. कैसा आप देखते हैं कितने दिन में ये प्रोसेस कंप्लीट होगा और लिस्टिंग के लिए आपके क्या प्रिपरेशंस हैं? पार्थो सारथी साहब, आपने क्या प्रिपरेशन किया जिससे ये स्मूथ लिस्टिंग हो और ये भी एक रिकॉर्ड टाइम में हो? Even after factoring this delay, I think so it is one of the fastest demerger that is happening in corporate India. I may be wrong on this, but what I get from this, my calculation, is that we are nearing doing a commendable job on that front also. Sir, coming to our interest in the coal mining, so where are we in terms of what have been eyed, whether any mines have been allocated to us? I think so the risk mitigation step we are taking, and also sir, remaining in the iron ore segment, जो हम vertical integration के लिए पहले steel plant में try किए नहीं हो पाया. Other than that, अभी आप जो pellets में जा रहे हैं, उससे आप क्या pellet का portfolio देखते हैं 2 से 5 साल के basis में? What should pellet form in terms of the total our revenue mix? And also, sir, as earlier speaker Bajaj Sahab, I think you mentioned about legacy iron ore. I include also ICVL investment. What are these two investment 500-700 crore रुपया जो हमने invest किया है? What are these investment yielding us? And what is the update? Are we going to continue holding on to them? Are these strategic? Or what's the thought process going ahead? Whether we put more money, whether we would monetize it, or how is this going to benefit us in terms of any offtake agreement? इसके विषय में आप जरूर बताएं सर. I think so, and the capital allocation is definitely a very, very important aspect now, since the burden of the steel plant, the money, there will no further capex I think so required. I think so last आपने 5,000 करोड़ भी शायद उसी की बैलेंस शीट पे लिया है, जो टर्म लोन भी लिया हुआ है. So how is the cash flow going to utilize? My moot point is, sir, when you are looking FY23, FY22 was a historic year in terms of record prices for iron ore, and it was very much evident that these prices won't sustain for a longer period of time. But the type of correction it has come currently, and the type of slackening we are seeing also in terms of the steel because of this export. So this double whammy, how are we conditioned to pass through or cushion ourselves to pass through this year, taking into account we are targeting higher sales in volume terms, and also as expressed by Dev Saab, that we are going to our top line is going to surpass last year number. So bottom line कैसे किस trajectory में दिखती है, EBITDA margin कैसा दिखता है, cash flow आप कैसा मैप कर रहे हैं, क्या capital allocation policy रखेंगे, आपके क्या क्या जो सब्सिडी में बाहर में इन्वेस्टमेंट किए हुए हैं उससे क्या बेनिफिट है, और आप कैपेक्स से क्या एफिशिएंसी सिस्टम में लाना चाहते हैं. आई समराइज्ड इट once again for the benefit, and in case of any follow up, sir, I request the company secretary to provide us an opportunity in case we find that some point is missed. We are given an opportunity to interact, and I hope to interact with the management and request the management to continue with the conference call going ahead. Sir, thank you for the opportune time and the patience to hear me, bear with me, and thank you once again, and namaskar, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Saket. So very informative. So may we have the next speaker, Mr. Sajan Joseph. As Mr. Joseph sir has joined, moderator to kindly check.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Mr. Joseph.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, sir. My questions have already been asked, but what I was interested in learning is about the coal operations. How far have we progressed in the coal operations? I'd like to congratulate the management for what they have done with the steel plant. There was a bit of a lapse from the management. They said it couldn't be commissioned by Q3, but it has been delayed. So I would like the management to be little bit more cautious when they're giving out timelines, because that if the timelines are not met, then it is considered negatively for the business. The last question was around dividend policy. I would like the business to be consistent with their dividend policy. It helps the long-term investors. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph. Thank you for your brief questions. The board has written down and taken consideration of this thing. We also have one more speaker who has registered today only, but being a large shareholder, I thought I should give him an opportunity. Mr. Mahmood Farooq, is he yet there in the meeting, please?
Sir, he is not joined.
He's not joined. So we'll run through the list once again for some of the people who we have missed out in the total list of all the shareholders, for the benefit if they are late logged in into the system. So may we have Santosh Chopra. Moderator, please.
Sir, he is not joined.
Mr. Vinod Agarwal Ramesh. Vinod Agarwal.
He is also not joined.
Mr. Ramesh Shankar
Not joined.
Golla.
Not joined, sir.
Mr. Kamal Kishore.
हेलो मेरा हो जाएगा हेलो
हाँ, yes, Kamal Kishore. आ रहा है, go ahead.
ओके सर हमारे चेयरमैन से ऑल डायरेक्टर्स को मेरा नमस्कार मैं ये कंपनी का बहुत पुराना शेयर होगा कुमार साहब कंपनी सेक्रेटरी है जब से और ये हमारे चेयरमैन साहब आपने जो चेयरमैन स्पीच किया बहुत वंडरफुल है आज सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट की कंपनी है बहुत अच्छी है तो ना हम आई एम द छोटे इन्वेस्टर है हम 36 साल के फील्ड में मैं सुरेशन जैन हमारा नाम पहले आके रमेश कमल किशोर का नाम पूरा गलत बोल दिए हमारे को बोलना चाहिए अभी आप सेक्रेटरी दिए उसके बाद से मैं शुक्रगुजार हूँ हमारे को बात करने का मौका मिला उसका पार्षद अभी था हमारे को आना कुछ भी रिस्पेक्ट दे देते हमारे को आप मैं सुरेशन कितने बार आया हम आपको बोले था भाई बेनिफिट हमको कंपनी का मिलता है आप बैठे हुए है ना हमारे को फोन नहीं देते और साहब ये है ना इंस्टीट्यूट डायरेक्टर जो कंपनी सेक्रेटरी जो बहुत है उसको अलग अलग करिए इन्हें कंपनी ने मैं भी बॉम्बे कर रहा दिल्ली बात करा जो भी कहते कंपनी सेक्रेटरी है वहाँ पे अलग अलग कर दिए चाहे इनको कंपनी सेक्रेटरी रखो या तो एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर रखो और सर हमारे हम तो बाजू तो स्कूल में है सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट का फीस कितना मिलता है और ना पूरे कंपनी सेक्रेटरी स्कूल के बाद से आप एक कोटेशन लेना चाहिए कुछ भी पैसे है आप अपने कंपनी में पैसे फंसते हमारे सुरेशन से बात करिए
थैंक यू मिस्टर कमल किशोर
चेयरमैन सर डायरेक्टर का मेरा नाम सुरेश चंद जैन है मैं भी रजिस्ट्रेशन कराया था सब मेरा नाम गलत पुकारे सुरेश चौवर बोल के बोले सुरेश चंद जैन है मेरा नाम
ठीक है
सर क्या सर
बोलिए जैन साहब
हाँ वही मेरा नाम सुरेश चंद जैन है सर मैं कंपनी का बहुत ही पुराना शेयरहोल्डर कुमार साहब के टाइम से हम आते थे कल इस कंपनी के अंदर 3-4 शेयरहोल्डर ही थे कमल किशोर सुरेश चंद जैन रमेश मंगलूरी और प्रफुल चावड़ा ये 4 जने ही थे और सर अब हमारे को एकदम हम रजिस्ट्रेशन कब कराए और नाम आप पुकारे और इन्वेस्टमेंट का दिए ही नहीं हमारे को सर और पार्थार्थी के पास हम 8 या 10 बार हम 2 साल से जा रहे चलो भाई अगले बार कोरोना का सीजन था जान दो अके तो कम से कम वोट बढ़ाते थे और ये और पार्थार्थी साहब आते नहीं हमको 15-20 साल से पहचानते उन्होंने दूसरे लोगों को दामादा बना के रख लिए उन लोगों की बात सुन के हमारे लोगों को मिलने जुलने भी नहीं देते हमारे पास 1-2 शेयर नहीं है सर हमारे पास क्वांटिटी देख लो PNR नंबर मार के देखो हमारे पास कितने शेयर हैं आपको अपने आप मालूम पड़ जाएगा और हमारा बिजनेस भी यही है सर शेयर का खरीदना बेचना कमल के सर जी और हमारे साहब मैं दादा है ना इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ साहब हमारे को है ना बहुत बार हमारे 2 साल 3 साल से तो आज हमारे को जरा अच्छा नहीं लगा और वही हमारे को है ना खाली फोन से भी हम लेन देन पे बात कर रहे तो हमारा फोन दूसरों को दे देते आपकी बाजू में आपकी आवाज आती आप बाजू रहते हो बोलते सीट पे नहीं है बोलो बोल के और सर हमारे चेयरमैन सर आते सो दीपावली शुभकामना की आपको हार्दिक बधाई देता हूँ हमें कंपनी से खुश है वेरी हमको अच्छा डिविडेंड मिलता है इंटीरियम डिविडेंड और आरसी कंसल्टेंस का नंबर 1 सर्विस है साहब आरसी का बहुत अच्छा सर्विस है बहुत अच्छा रिस्पॉन्स देते हैं साहब वेरी गुड सर्विस और हमारे पासी साहब आप गलत मत समझो आप 20-25 साल से नागार्जुन एग्रीकल्चर में जब हमारे लोगों को पहचानते जब वो अनलिस्टेड कंपनी थी हमारे को जब बहुत अच्छा रिस्पॉन्स देते थे बात करते थे हम ऑफिस में लैंड नंबर पे फोन मिला के आपके बाजू में आवाज आ रहा आप दूसरों को जानते हैं नहीं किया बोल दो मीटिंग में
ठीक थैंक यू कमल किशोर थैंक यू कमल किशोर जी और सुरेश चंद जैन साहब सो मे बी मूव टू द नेक्स्ट स्पीकर प्लीज मिस्टर कृष्णन Do we have Krishnan in the meeting, please?
He is not joined, sir.
Okay. So I think we have covered with majority of the speakers.
Thank you. With this, we conclude the question sessions from all the shareholders. Now I hand over
back to our beloved chairman, Managing Director Shri Sumit Deb, to kindly take on the questions.
While we provide the answers to the question, I request the team to play the corporate video,
which showcase the work
done by NMDC team during the last year.
Earth sustains man in more ways than we imagine. Much of today's technology is made possible due to minerals that are used in meeting the needs of our modern lifestyle. NMDC Limited has been mining the bounties of Mother Earth for close to 6 decades now to bring the benefits of minerals for development. Established in 1958 to explore, develop and exploit mineral resources, NMDC Limited has been contributing to India's growth by supplying iron ore, the critical raw material for making steel. NMDC has also played a crucial role in India's mineral self-sufficiency, having undertaken exploration that subsequently helped other PSUs as well. With iron ore resources of over 2 billion tons and an established mining capacity of 38 million tons per annum of iron ore, NMDC is the single largest supplier of high-grade iron ore, meeting nearly a quarter of the Indian steel industry's requirement. NMDC's mechanized mines, located in sylvan surroundings at Kirandul and Bacheli, at Chhattisgarh and Donimalai in Karnataka, mine iron ore that meet the requirements of India's major steel producers. NMDC's list of clientele is a virtual who's who of India's steel industry and a host of sponge iron makers in Chhattisgarh. NMDC is also India's only diamond miner and Asia's only mechanized diamond miner, mining at the historical Panna diamond mines in Madhya Pradesh. NMDC's proven expertise in exploration and mining, the high-level technical competence of its strong team of professional managers and a dedicated workforce ensure that NMDC keeps the flag flying. Awards and accolades follow where quality performance reigns. Several awards bear testimony to NMDC's enterprising spirit, industry leadership, safe operations, product quality, robust financials, commendable HR practices, and environmental concerns. As a part of its diversification program, NMDC is setting up a 3 million tons per annum greenfield steel plant at Nagarnar that will produce 3 million tons of HR coils annually. Being set up at an investment of more than 15,500 crore rupees, this plant will have the distinction of having one of India's largest blast furnaces. NMDC has also started production from its 1.2 MTPA capacity pellet plant at Donimalai. This plant will utilize slimes and fines generated in its mines by value addition and further converting them into pellets. NMDC's sponge iron plant at Paloncha fulfills the requirement of small steel makers. NMDC's utmost concern for the ecosystem where it operates ensures that mining is carried out conscientiously by adopting safe, scientific and environmental friendly methods of mining and mineral processing. Planting trees to sustain the grain cover is an important activity for NMDC. All production facilities of NMDC are ISO 14001-2004 Environmental Management System certified. To further increase its efficacy to international standards, NMDC is presently implementing an integrated environment management system. At NMDC, we strongly believe that the Earth's resources need to be mined scientifically in an eco-friendly and sustainable manner, and for the benefit of the country and mankind at large. The first beneficiary of this approach is the community, in whose midst NMDC undertakes its mining activity. Corporate social responsibility has been a way of life, an established practice at NMDC, ingrained in its very DNA, and one which it has been consistently carrying out diligently, in letter and spirit since its inception. Be it Kirandul, Bacheli.
So we will now begin the answers to the questions. I request our chairman and managing director to kindly lead the discussion on this.
So good afternoon, everyone. Now we have listened to the questions, all of them, and we are. I would like to clarify some of the issues which have been raised. So first of all, if you look at the future and the future prospects of the company has a vision to grow to 67 million tons from the current levels of 42, which we did last year. And this goal in this 67 we will do in 2025 and 100 million tons in 2030. So this is the vision, and basically this is for iron ore, obviously. But then, sorry, we are also venturing into gold in Andhra Pradesh, where we already had a lease. So and we have got a favorable order from the court, so we'll start operations there. And the company is also looking at exploration in Madhya Pradesh and other areas also, where we are prospecting for minerals. So this is an ongoing activity which we do currently. From the current levels of operation, we have also some mines in Chhattisgarh under NCL, NMDC Chhattisgarh and CMDC Limited. So these are things which are an ongoing operations of the company. We have operations, obviously there was a question raised on legacy iron ore. Legacy also we intend to start mining very quickly. That is a magnetite iron ore mining project, and we would like to do it in a joint venture with some local mining companies there. So, this is about the future prospects and the activities which we are doing in NMDC. The company, there was a question on demerger. Demerger, we had committed to a end of in September, so that hopefully we will be able to complete this thing. In Orissa, we of course we talked to various states in the country for allocation of mines under 17A. So Orissa is also one of the states which we have been talking to with regard to mining, since it is the largest state in the country, largest mining state. So we are talking to them with regard to allocation of some mines where we have already prospected for. For example, Malangtoli is one mine in Orissa which we have done prospecting. So we are talking to the state government for allocation of those mines to NMDC. So currently there was a question on whether there is a sufficient demand in the market with regard to iron ore post most of the steel players getting into allocating or bidding for mines. So what I believe is that the steel production in the country currently is around 120 million tons. So now going forward, the vision is to of the steel ministry is to go for to touch a level of 300 million tons of capacity and production of 250 million tons. So there is, I believe, sufficient demand in the country. NMDC in the past couple of years have not been exporting iron ore. So this is also one area which is available for for us. But then there is sufficient demand domestically for disposing of these additional volumes. So I do not see any difficulty in trying to dispose of these volumes, additional volumes from 42 to, for example, 67, and then 100 million tons. There is sufficient demand exist. There has been some duty implications which have been the central government has brought in, whether in terms of in steel or in iron ore, low grade ore. But these are all targeted to curb inflationary tendencies, which I have mentioned in my opening remarks. The inflation, current levels of inflation had gone up, so that is why these have been the government has brought in these policies. So going forward, once the inflation levels cool down, then the government can have a relook at the policy accordingly. So this is about the market scenario and our expansion plans and our future vision for the company. So that was one thing which then about the commissioning of the steel plant. The steel plant obviously has been considerably delayed. So once the delay, it's a huge complex plant, 3 million tons making flat products, and Mecon has been our technological partners, and currently we would like to like I mentioned, the company is getting demerged, but we have to start commissioning of the plant. That process has already started. We have heated the heating of the coke ovens is an irreversible process. So once you start heating the coke oven, you need to start pushing of the coke ovens, which is the start of the plant. So we are starting to the operations coke oven batteries. Hopefully we will start in this month, and then going forward commission the other blast furnace, the steel melting shop, and the thin slab caster and mills. So this is a process which has already started, and hopefully we should be able to commission the plant in this financial year. So that's about the steel plant. Our coal operations and the iron ore and the environmental issues will be addressed by Director of Production. Meanwhile, Amitabh Mukherjee, our Director of Finance, he will answer the questions which have been raised on the financial matter.
Mr. Gunduru had asked why the miscellaneous expenditure of around 1.04 crores. These are essentially because of excess provisions written off. These are number of entries, but lot of excess provisions in small amounts were there, and they have been written off after the receipt of actual liabilities against these provisions. The another question that he raised was provision of doubtful debts. Why is that gone up? As you know, that 20% of the sale amount was provided for, 10% for SPV and 10% for expected credit loss from our sales in Karnataka. And the sales in Karnataka had gone up from 75 lakh ton to 150 lakh ton, and also the average prices as compared to previous year had gone up from 2200 rupees per ton to 2600 rupees per ton, and that is why the provision of doubtful debt had increased in our books. Similarly, advertisement and publicity expenditure had gone up by 9 crores from 12 crores to 21 crores. This is because post-pandemic there were a lot of events that we could sponsor, and a lot of other things where we could have corporate mileage, a lot of other events happening where we had other opportunities for corporate advertisement. Other income has actually doubled. This is mainly due to increase in interest income from 156 crores to 289 crores. That's an increase of 133 crores. Where our normal deposits have gone up to about 8,000 crores as on date. Mr. Santosh Saraf asked for demerger, and so did Mr. Naveen requested for having a record date for issue of shares of NSL to our existing shareholders. Now, the hearing on the second motion application has been completed a few days back, and we are awaiting the orders of the company law of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Once they are received, there is a 60-day timeline for registering the new shares of NSL in the stock exchanges. But the first step would be that the board would be meeting and deciding on the record date. Unless the board meets, we cannot speculate on that. It will be meeting only after the orders of the company law board are issued. Mr. Joshi asked for trade receivable from monitoring committee, which was at 4233 crores, of which 2800 crores is against the 10% towards ECL, which is to be refunded to NMDC once the Supreme Court allows it. The rest of the money is regarding normal dues, which will be realized once the last consignment of the parties who have bought it they lift their material. What happens is, if a party, for example, buys 10,000 tons of material, unless he lifts the entire 10,000 tons, we do not get the money back from the monitoring committee. Although the party deposits it to the monitoring committee, but even out of this 10,000, if 9,500 has been lifted, we do not get proportional amount of money. We get the entire amount of money once the entire 10,000 tons have been lifted by that party. So out of this 4233 minus 2800 is the normal dues. As and when the dispatches happen, they will be received by NMDC. Demerger I have already mentioned. Additional royalty is now a statutory part, and it is not likely to be withdrawn, because that forms a part of the statute, that we have to pay 150% of the royalty accordingly. Contingent liability of Bailadila sector of 1600 crores is related to common cause judgment, where we have approached the High Court against the judgment and against the not against the judgment, but against the imposition of demand of 1600 crores from the on the Bailadila sector. Wage revision we have started already providing for, because it is for non-executives, it is due from 1/4/22, and accordingly in Q1 we had provided for 21 crores in our books. EPS, as you said, was in last year was 32, and depending on the profit, we hope to maintain the same EPS levels this year also. Regarding capital allocation, as you are aware, that the current year target for capex is 3512 crores, of which 1500 crores is for NISP and the rest for other capacity enhancements. That includes majorly slurry pipeline and SP3 major projects. So these are provided for 2000 crores. We have already spent 962 crores as of date, and on NISP we have spent around 21,000 crores till date. So even after demerger, when our free cash flows will not be applicable to the financing of NISP, that in any case would be, now we have major projects of slurry pipeline more than 3,000 crores, the SP3 projects more than almost 3,000 crores. We will have slurry pipeline phase 2 also, which will be around 7,000-8,000 crores on a ballpark estimate. And then we have major projects like shifting two of our crushing plants. So there will be enough projects to apply our free cash flows and enhance the capacity and the earning of the company. And Mr. Saket Kapoor had mentioned that whether our EBITDA margin would be at around 43% band. You are correct that our EBITDA margin would be retained at around 43% band, considering that almost 19.8% is going to 20% is going towards royalty and DMF and anonymity. Another 22% is going towards the additional royalty, and anything between 10 to 11% would be our OPEX. So if we calculate that, around 43% EBITDA margin should be maintained at current level of prices. And you also said what would be the additional increase in cash flow due to abolition of the monitoring committee. As you know, that 20% was being provided for, 10% towards ECL and 10% towards SPV. SPV we still continue to pay. So 10% will be released. As you last year we had provided for around 962 crores. So half of that 10 crores will be obviously coming to NMDC straight from the customers. So that will be around 481 crores. So depending on the volume, around 450 to 500 crores would be the addition to our net profit and cash flow due to abolition of the current mechanism of the monitoring committee. And you have raised a question of why finance. Mr. Kapoor had also said why finance cost has gone up to by around 15 to 20 crores. This has to be seen in conjunction with the increase of interest income of 133 crores, because whenever we invest surplus funds and then we need some for our own operations, we have two choices: either to break the FDs or to take ODs against these FDs. So ODs against these FDs are generally cheaper, instead of rather than breaking these FDs and use it for our operations. So that is why the finance cost has gone up by 15 to 20 crores, but this has to be seen in conjunction with the increase of interest income of 133 crores. Dividend policy, Mr. Sajan Joseph had mentioned regarding the dividend policy. As you are aware that the government, the DPE guidelines say that at least 30% of your net profit or 5% of your net worth has to be paid as dividend. NMDC has been consistently paying higher than that. Last few years, the average payout has been in the region of 45 to 50% of the net profit. They have either gone as clean dividend or has gone up into a combination of buyback and dividends. But the net outgo from the net profits have been around 45 to 50% over the last few years. So dividend policy has been fairly consistent, and the payout to shareholders has been in the range of 45 to 50%. I believe that covers more or less all the aspects, and we thank you for noting that this is one of the fastest and the cleanest demerger process that is happening. And I don't think there were any further questions related to finance, and I now request I hand it over back to Chairman Sir for his comments.
Now I would request Director Production, Mr. Mahanti, to address issues with regard to environment and basically issues with regard to monsoon preparation and etc.
Yeah, thank you, sir. As I go according to the list, actually, Mr. G. Santosh from Hyderabad, he has raised certain queries regarding our mines are located at tribal areas, and what are the steps we are taking for the local area development. There, I would like to bring out that we are providing all the infrastructure developments in that area, especially road and other networks. Then we are also providing support for agricultural requirements of the local people, and we always give free medical and education facilities to them. And midday meal system also it is there. Then we provide to the local youth training facilities like nursing, then mechanic and electrical and other subjects, and they are getting good placements also. Recently 100% placement is seen in the case of the girl students, those who have taken training in nursing, then mechanic and electrical, they have been absorbed by Maruti. So that area we always look into that. And education, we provide them quality education through our system like Chulo Asman, where we bring out experts from outside to train them. And also Mr. Santosh has asked about the environment issues. What are the things you do take care? In a mining operation, generally we are having air, water and sound pollution, so those are being taken care. Like we do plantation work in and around that area, where we have planted around 3 million trees till to date we have already planted. And to avoid the water pollution also, we have constructed check dams, retaining walls, garland drains, then other things to check the water pollution. At the same time, we go for geoquare matting also to conserve the soil. And in the drilling also, we observe with wet drilling method we follow, so that less amount of air pollution will be there. Then ETPs and STPs are also there to take care of the effluent which is being generated and is being taken care of. And if I come to Mr. Rohit Poti, he has put one question like Kumaraswamy mining, that public hearing. for 7 to 10 million ton, which has done successfully, and the queries which has been raised has been already addressed. It is already in the process. Already mining approval has been done from 7 to 10, and we are already in the process. It may take around 5 to 6 months time to increase, and recently Supreme Court also has increased the area limit from 28 to 35 million ton. Hope we will be able to get it through. And Mr. Shaket, he asked some questions regarding to coal mining. We have been allotted 2 number of coal mines. One is Rone coal block and a Tokishud coal block in the state of Jharkhand. That Rone is a coking coal and Tokishud is steam coal. And we are already in the process. Since there is a difficulty in getting the land clearances over there, we are now going through CBT routes, Coal Bearing Act route, and hopefully by another this year end or so, we will be able to go ahead with this, and maybe next year we will start our activities there. We are already in the process, and this Mr. Sanjay Joseph also asked about this coal operation. This is all about it. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mahanti. With regard to environment, NMDC has a lot of focus on the environment, and we are constantly on the lookout for looking at ways and means to improve and reduce pollution. So in fact, we have planted almost 3 million trees have been planted since inception of the mining activities. Around 1 lakh trees have been planted, in fact, in this year only. Under Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and various other programs, a huge drive has been taken for plantation of trees, like I had mentioned. So environment is a very, very key focus area for NMDC. Now, with regard to our future plans of, we have already, there was a question by Mr. Kanakala Bharadwaj for a lithium mine. So we applied for a lithium block in Karnataka, which is now we are pursuing. Obviously, this is on a PL only exploration stage. So this is something very important for us also, since this being a battery mineral. So this is whether in the country or whether abroad, we always are on the lookout for these strategic minerals. With regard to legacy, also we plan to start our gold mining activity. The operations we intend to start very quickly in legacy, other than the iron ore mining project. Apart from that, we have implemented various programs with regard to improving our efficiencies during the monsoon season. The most of the benefit will accrue from next year onwards, where in fact the measures we have taken will actually bear fruit from the next year, next monsoon onwards. So these are some of the things which we plan to do for us. I think all the questions have been answered, and by us. And now, thank you, Patsati. Members may note that the voting on the NSDL platform will continue to be available for the next 15 minutes. Therefore, members who have not cast their vote yet are requested to do so. The Board of Directors has appointed D. Hanumantraju, Practicing Company Secretary, as a scrutinizer to supervise the e-voting process. Further, I hereby authorize the Company Secretary to declare the results of the voting and place the results in the website of the company at the earliest. The resolutions are set forth in the notice shall be deemed to be passed today, subject to receipt of requisite number of votes. Thank you all for attending the meeting, and I hereby declare the proceedings as closed. And I would request Mr. Patsati to do the honors for the vote of thanks. Stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I wish to place on record my sincere appreciation and thanks to the Chairman and Managing Director, Shri Sumit Deb Sahab. Despite his busy schedule, has made it convenient to conduct this proceedings of the annual general meeting. Our Director of Finance, Shri Amitava Mukherjee, sir. Shri Somnath Nandi, our Director Technical, sir. Our Shri D.K. Mohanty, Shri Director Production. Shri Sanjay Tandon, despite not being disposable completely, has joined us to attend the meeting. He is the Chairman of the Audit Committee also, and is a leader in the board. And his contribution is very immense on the entire operations of the company. And I would also place on record my sincere appreciation to Sri Vishal Babbar, Dr. Anil Kamble, and Sri Sanjay Singh, the shareholders, the government nominee by the President of India, Sri Gopalakrishnan, on behalf of the President, and Madam Srimati Sukriti Likhi, Government Nominee Director on the board of the company, for the successful running of the company and to achieve the remarkable heights, both in terms of production and sales and various other parameters which have been discussed and placed in the annual report. The company is on a very ambitious growth plan, and the board is very much geared up to achieve the targets of the company and of the Government of India and this Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav year of the Government of India. I thank all the department HODs, executive directors, chief general managers, GMs of the company, and all the teams working in our mines in remote locations despite the various difficult conditions of the company, and all who have worked for the preparation of the annual report and also for the successful running of the company for the year 21-22 and the conduct of the AGM. I thank once again everybody for having made it possible to come and take some questions on the board. The board is always having a interaction with the shareholders. It's not a one-time interaction of the annual general meeting. Every quarter our directors and the CMD and the DF take some time out along with other directors to address the shareholders. You please keep active and please give us more questions so that we are also geared up for answering what all your queries are there. Hopefully that we'll have a better year for the 22-23, and with this I remain and thank you very much. Jai Hind. All done?
Mics are off?
Thank you.